YouTube! Welcome to my random thoughts on Thursdays, and this week I've got a lot of random thoughts that I'm going to talk about. Alright, so as you know, this is my random thoughts on Thursdays, and some vlogs I have kind of a specific focus, like last time I was talking mostly about gaming and things. This time I've got a lot of different random things that I am going to talk about. As you may or may not know, I live in northern Colorado, and if you've seen the news at all, there has been a rather large wildfire going on here called the High Park Fire. And it's been, geez, it's been 10-11 days now since the blaze started. And it just kind of got out of control so quickly, and it went from 2 acres to 200 acres to 2,000 acres to like 18,000 acres and so on. And at this point, 11 days in, as of last night, it was about 60,000 acres. It is now 50% contained, but it's been kind of scary watching it. I mean, where we live in Fort Collins, it really isn't an issue in terms of it going to burn down the city. They've built a fire line and they've kept the fire from coming east down out of the mountains. The only town that was in any kind of potential danger was a small town called Bellevue, and thankfully they stopped the fire before the fire hit that town. It's a very small town, but still it was scary seeing how close the fire line got to that town. For me, the only way I've been affected, other than having to breathe the smoky air that's been in the air lately, is the fact that I have a couple of friends who live up there. One lives due north of the fire line, and her house, I think, is going to be okay. However, it's still going to be a few more days until she can go home. And, you know, it's been almost 2 weeks now since she's been home, since she's been evacuated in the first place. And there's only one road in and out of her community, and because of where the fires are and how to get to that road, they're just not letting people into that area yet. My other friend, her house, thank goodness, is still okay as well, but it's right smack dab in the middle of the burn zone. Thankfully, she and her husband had the wherewithal to cut away a lot of the dead trees and brush away from their house, like they recommend you doing if you live in the mountains. And thankfully, because of how much they cleared away from their house, it looks like it saved their house. However, because of the location of her house, they might not go home for another 2 to 4 weeks. And they're living out of hotels now and things. And there's been over 3,000 people evacuated so far, and I think there's going to be another 100 that have pre-evacuation notices already. It is 50% contained, but it's been really hot and really windy, and they've had a lot of hot spots show up and new fires start from embers from the existing fire, etc. And so that's been somewhat of an issue. Thankfully, the next couple of days are going to be cooler, and hopefully they will be able to get more of it under control, and people will be able to go home sooner. But anyway, so that's one of the things that has been going on lately. And some of the photos that I took, you can see here, I took some photos from our front window, and you can see the sun shining through the smoke that was in the air. And this was, you know, this was not a sunset. This was, the sun was still pretty high in the sky at the point that I took this photo. And one of the other photos I took, we were out driving, and I happened to see a sunset with the sun setting behind the smoke, and you can really see the big trail of smoke that it left. So you can kind of see how big of a fire it really is, and it's had this big plume of smoke over the city now for, like I said, 11 days. And it's not been fun. It really has not been a fun thing to watch. And I really feel bad for all the people who have had to be evacuated, and then there's the over 1,700 firefighters who are up there in 100-degree weather having to fight the fire. One person has unfortunately died because of the fire. Thankfully only one person, but still, it's still a tragedy either way. But so yeah, this has been not a good year for wildfires so far in Colorado. Let's see, other things that I have going on. So today I had a chance to pick up my wedding dress from the seamstress. I had them replace the back enclosure of the dress. Instead of a zipper, it now has what's called a loops and laces enclosure, and you'll see a photo here of that. And the reason I did that, oddly enough, I couldn't get it to fit the top part of it. It's a strapless dress, and it wouldn't, the last bit of it wouldn't close over my chest area. And I knew that even if I tried to lose weight, that area was going to be hard to shrink. So I thought, okay, I need something that's more adjustable. So we did that instead, and now I can adjust it, and it'll fit perfectly on the upper half of the dress. The bottom half fit perfectly already anyway, except for the length of it. They had to hem the bottom of it, but other than that, it's ready to go. I now have appointments for my getting my nails done. I have appointments for getting my hair done. Photography's happening in a week and a half from now. And in about a month is the big wedding reception. So things are slowly but surely falling into place with that. So that's the latest on the whole coming up wedding thing. In gaming news, since I've gained a lot of subscribers just because I happen to like gaming, so I thought maybe I'd talk a little bit about gaming. So, as I talked about last time, I obviously have been playing Diablo III, which has been a lot of fun. And the last few days I have been working towards getting the staff of herding so that I can enter what's been being called the pony level, the secret pony level, but also called Whimsyshire in the game, where you go into the game and there's puffy clouds and rainbows and unicorns and teddy bears and all this stuff, and it's just completely ridiculous, and it's so hilarious. My fiance has already got his staff and he's playing in it, and so I'll include a little bit of footage with us playing in that in Whimsyshire, since he can invite me into it. I don't have my staff yet, but he can invite me because he's got the staff. And it's just hilarious. And from what I understand, the reason that they included this, I mean, going back in Diablo history, with Diablo 1, there was rumors of a secret cow level, which never actually existed. But the creators of the game were so amused by this rumor that they included a secret cow level in Diablo 2. For any of those of you who happen to ever play Diablo 2. And then, so there's this whole history of these rumored secret levels and things. And then apparently early screen captures of early development from Diablo 3, it looked more cartoonish and more colorful than it does now. It's now very dark and graphically really beautiful. But people apparently made comments of, you know, you might as well have rainbows and ponies because of the way how cartoony and colorful it looked with the early versions of it. And so someone at Blizzard decided, hey, well, why not? And that's why if you go through the trouble of putting all the pieces together to make this staff, and it's not easy. There's a lot of work to do to get to it. And a lot of gold you've got to spend in order to craft the staff as well. But once you get in there, it's, as you can see, it's just hilarious with the puffy clouds and the unicorns and the cupcakes and everything else. So it's well worth the work, I think, to get in there, because it's just so ridiculous compared to how dark the rest of the game is. So anyway, that is everything I wanted to talk about this week. So until next time, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.